Hi, everybody. Joe Cioffi here. Weather in 5 days and 5 minutes, brought to you by Omni True Value Hardware, your go-to place this spring for topsoil, sand, and mulch, and to make sure everything that you put out in front of your house makes your house look like a botanical garden. 631-756-1125 for the best prices in town. OmniTrueValue.com is the website. And also brought to you by Temps. Get the revolutionary Tempest weather system and join the fastest growing observation network on the planet. You can find the link on the descriptor to this video. Still not a whole lot going on, but there are a couple of highlights that I think I need to point out. One is the fact that we do have red flag warnings up for the Hudson Valley, the lower and middle Hudson Valley, down to about the New Jersey state line, also into parts of the Catskills, southern New England, and pushing up a little bit further north than that into the state of Massachusetts. New York City is in that red flag warning. Long Island is not. New Jersey and eastern Pennsylvania are not in it. But we do have very dry conditions here developing. And as we go through the rest of today and tonight into tomorrow, the wind is going to pick up as well. So this does create brush fire risk. We do have some moisture in the west. We've got flood watches up for parts of Nevada, Washington State, northern Oregon, and even in a few counties in Montana. High wind warnings and wind advisories there. But most of the action that's going on in the west is going to take the rest of the week to even start moving to the east. So we're not too concerned about that in the short term. If you look on the satellite loop, weather is great pretty much from central New England down into the Florida Panhandle at the moment. But in the northeast, you see these little waves of clouds that are moving southeastward. There's a cold front and storm system that's moving between New Brunswick and Newfoundland. And that front is really not going to have any impact here from the standpoint of precipitation. That's not the issue. The issue is that the gradient is going to tighten up this afternoon, and it's going to remain relatively tight. Probably going to see some gusts above 30 miles an hour at times. I don't think it gets too crazy. It also, with that northwest flow, the warming trend that we have underway, that is going to continue. And in fact, when we get to Friday, these are Friday's forecast highs, mid to upper 80s. I would not at all be surprised if we wind up seeing temperatures getting close to 90 degrees in some of the inland hotspots. Friday may be the first day that the wind starts to come in off the ocean, and that could impact some areas in central and eastern Long Island, the immediate shores of southern and southeastern New England by lowering temperatures there into the 70s and 60s, and also probably right along the New Jersey shore. But for today, certainly Wednesday and most likely Thursday, as temperatures trend higher, we're going to have mainly a northwest wind. So even coastal areas will enjoy warming temperatures going forward. Not a whole lot happening on the radar. We've got some light shower activity with that weather front moving through eastern New England. You see a few patches there up in Maine, New Hampshire, and Vermont, and even well up into northern New York. But it's quiet from there southward down the eastern seaboard. You get into northeast Florida, you see a few showers. You get into southeast Florida, you see a few showers and downpours, and you also see a few centered around Louisiana. But other than that, it's quiet. And we do have waves of moisture that continue to roll into the Pacific Northwest with rain in the coast and snow up in the mountains. No severe weather forecast today or tomorrow, so we'll jump to Thursday into Friday. That'll be the first day of some severe weather risk, and we have a marginal risk in southeast Mississippi, the Florida Panhandle, and southwest Georgia. And then on day 4, we have some risk showing up in their long range, a 15% risk, which would be equal to a slight risk in parts of southeast Kansas, eastern Oklahoma, and north central Texas. And with respect to rainfall, the precipitation that you're seeing here for the next 7 days, that takes us right to next Tuesday morning. This is all going to come late Sunday or Sunday night in the Northeast and northern mid-Atlantic states. And it's basically on the order of a quarter to maybe a few pockets of a half inch. It's wet along the Gulf Coast and down the east coast of Florida, particularly in the afternoon and evening hours when we have a good chance that we'll see showers and downpours bubbling up there, and also wet up in the Pacific Northwest. So it's a northwest wind. Temperatures reaching up into the 70s today. Will be well up into the 70s on Wednesday. Dew points will be low today and tomorrow and probably into Thursday. So remember, there is brush fire risk, particularly with gusty winds this afternoon into Wednesday. Then on Thursday, we're going to see our temperatures jump up into the 80s just about everywhere. And there's still mostly a west wind, so sea breezes will be confined right to the immediate coast and more than likely just on the beaches. You see the rain in the southeast. A little arm there moves northeastward into Friday morning into the Carolinas, but not coming up here. Friday, that very warm day, as we pointed out, temperatures well up into the 80s. Saturday, we'll probably see more clouds and there will be some sun, but temperatures could be a bit lower on Saturday. Let's say upper 70s and lower 80s. And then on Sunday, here comes a low finally out of energy from the west that runs up to the Great Lakes. We'll have a cold front that will probably come through Sunday night with maybe some showers and perhaps some thunderstorms. You see the GFS depiction of the radar looks like a line of thunderstorms through central Pennsylvania down in eastern Virginia by Sunday evening. How much of that holds together during the overnight, if that winds up being the timing, remains to be seen. Next week's going to be a different kind of week. We've got a colder pattern that's going to be setting up, so temperatures will be back down closer to average, and maybe on some days we could wind up being a little bit below average. We're going to talk all about this and more tonight on the Joe and Joe Weather Show. That's at 7:35 p.m. Eastern Time. We hope to see you then.